Guys, welcome to Pen Dentistry. Hope you are doing good. I am Dr. Aishwarya with you for easy learning and better understanding. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go and subscribe to my channel and learn the dentistry in an easy manner. Today our topic is on sutures. So let's start and see. Before that, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to know more about me, you can follow me on my Instagram account. So keep watching Pen Dentistry. Start with the suture. Suture, why we use suture? Suture is a material which we use when the surgery has taken place and you have done a incision. You have cut this area. If this is the area, you have cut it with, you have made an incision. For joining the two tissue, you need something thread like material that is known as suture. The material which is used for the joining the two tissue during the time of surgical performance, that is suture. So suture maintain wound closure. It will going to close the wound and to promote wound healing. It will going to promote the wound healing. It will help in wound healing process. That is, it will not going to help in the mechanical or physical process, but it will just help in your wound to be protected, and closure will be there. It will going to heal nicely during the time when the wound is most vulnerable. Vulnerable means when the wound is very sensitive. At that time the suture is very necessary for the healing process. So this is the suture. Ideal material in suture is it should have a high tensile strength to hold the wound in a proper position. It is going to hold the margins of the wound until the healing is completed. Okay, it should not be allergic. There should be no occurrence of any allergic reaction in the wound area due to the suture. It should have at least capillarities. Least capillarities means it should not soak up the inflamed tissue fluid. The fluid which is present around the wound, it should not soak the fluid inside the suture. If the suture is soaking the material or the fluid around the wound, it will going to occur a infection around the wound. That will be more problematic for the healing process. So it should not soak any kind of fluid which are present around the wound. So should have least capillarities. It should have a good knotting property. Good knotting means when you are tying a suture, it should be knotted very easily and properly. It should not, the knot should not be come out easily, or it should not get open easily. Sterilized, you should, the suture should be like that so that you can easily sterilize it. Visible, it should be visible in the cavity if you are using in the cavity after extraction, or if you are doing a surgical process, it should be visible with your naked eyes. Inexpensive, it should not be that much expensive because it's just a part of surgery. So it should not be that much expensive so that a patient or a doctor cannot afford it. It should have a good handling property. Good handling property means the person should be able to grab it easily while doing a suturing, while making the knots. Okay, so these are the ideal material the material of the suture should have. Now the classification, how the suture is classified. The suture is classified according to the absorbable and a non-absorbable and monofilament and multifilament. In absorbable, there is a natural and synthetic type of suture is present, and in non-absorbable there is a natural with synthetic, same the natural synthetic in the absorbable as well as in the non-absorbable. Plus here the metallic also comes in non-absorbable. Okay, so this is the natural synthetic, and in non-absorbable natural metallic and synthetic. Then the monofilament, the filaments which is present singly, single filaments. This is known as monofilament. When the filament is twisted like a braid shape, or it is like three braids like this shapes are, it is twisted like this, that is multifilament with two filaments, or the three or more than three filaments, that is multifilaments. That means many filaments comes together to form a multi thread, a single thread, that is multifilament. So these are the classification of the sutures. Here the monofilament, it is as it is a single stranded, it should be handled properly with the delicate hands without any damage causing to the suture. So to protect it from the breaking, okay, breakage. And it, this type of monofilament, it is a, this type of suture is a microorganism free. That is, while after the surgery you have added a monofilament suture, there will be a less chances of microorganism development, because there will be no place for hiding the microorganism in a single filament, and it ties smoothly. Okay, this in monofilament it ties up smoothly. Here, as I have told you, multiple or braided type. This multiple can harbor a bacteria. It can generate a bacteria, or there might be a colonies of bacteria growing takes place due to the multiple threads are twisted together, and there comes a space between the threads. As you can see, the space can help in microorganism to grow. So it should be bacteria free, and while doing the surgery, and this multifilaments, it might get contaminated and infected after this surgery due to the multiple filaments presence. The table we are going to see here, the monofilament and the multifilament table. How you are going to learn this table? First you are going to write the absorbable and non-absorbable here. In monofilament, there comes a surgical gut plain chromic suture. Then plain chromic suture is already present here. Again, the plain chromic suture will come. That is made up of collagen. First, it was made of surgical gut. Now it is made up of collagen. Then PDS2, polyglactin 910, that is 910. Again in multifilament, the polyglactin 910 will be present. Again the polyglactin 910 will be present, that is in the rapid form. And in the last one, polyglycolic acid will be there in the absorbable in multifilament. This is the monofilament, and these are the multifilament. Surgical gut, that is plain chromatic. Then surgical gut, then it is made up of collagen, that is again plain chromatic. PDS2, polyglactin 910, polyglactin 910, again polyglactin 910, that is the rapid form. Then polyglycolic acid. This is the absorbable. Hope you have understood this and you have grabbed in your mind. If you have grabbed in your mind and like the video, please like and subscribe. In non-absorbable, there comes a polyamide and polypropylene. Amide is a protein and propylene is a pungent gas. You can say it is a pungent gas, bad smell gas. stainless steel and polyester. Here amide and esters, these organic materials are coming. So non-absorbable, the organic materials are coming. Polyamide, polypropylene, stainless steel and polyester. Now polyamide again is repeated in the multifilament, that is in the form of braided. Okay, that is braided means the braid which you make like this braids. Okay, this is the braid. Polyester, again the polyester is present with the braided form. Then the polyester is present with the braided form. Now it is in the coated form. Okay, braided as well as coated. The stainless steel here is repeated. So this is very easy to learn. That is polyamide, polyamide braided, polypropylene. This is only the one kind of suture where which is not repeated in the down one. Stainless steel again is repeated, and polyester braided, polyester braided coated, and stainless steel. Here surgical silk is used, surgical linen and cotton. It is these three are type of cloth material, linen and cotton. So it is very easy to learn that three material types of clothes are used or raw clothes are used, that is surgical silk, surgical linen and cotton. So this table is very easy to learn. First you are going to see from the gut, then collagen, PDS2, polygalactin. Then polygalactin is repeated here, the exception of polyglycolic acid present. This is the only extra thing. Here polypropylene is the extra thing and rest of the things are repeated. Here cloth material is used, that is silk, linen and cotton. So this is very easy table to learn. Hope you are understanding this. We are going to see the natural as well as the synthetic suture in our next video, because this video is getting vaster. Before that, we are going to see the principles of suturing. We will be learning the needle part and the types of sutures and how and the kinds of sutures in detail in our next video. As I told you, now we are going to see the principle of suturing here. The first principle is needle should be grabbed 3/4 from the tip. The needle should be grabbed 3/4 from the tip. It means that you should hold your needle. If this is the needle, this is the part of your hole of the needle. You should grab it 3/4 from the tip. You should hold your needle at this position, not at the eye region, not at the tip region, at the 3/4 region. This is the 3/4 part. Now, the second is never held at suture end. Here the suture is tied, so you are not going to hold your needle at this point. No, never held at the suture end. The perpendicular piercing into the suture, into the incision. If you have made an incision, it should be just perpendicular to the incision. Your needle insertion should be or piercing should be perpendicular to the tissue. If this is the tissue, you are going to place your needle like this. Okay, you are going to place your needle like this, perpendicular, just perpendicular to the tissue floor. Oblique piercing result in tear. This is tear. If you are going to place your needle at the oblique direction like this, there might a chance of tearing of the tissue. So this is the third. The suture should be 2 to 3 mm equidistant from the incision. That is, if you have made an incision, so it should be 2 to 3 mm distance. This is the incision line, and 2 to 3 mm distance mean here the 2 to 3 mm distance will be present on both the side. If you have taken 2 here, again you are going to take mm incision. Here penetration will be there of your needle. Okay. The depth of the penetration is equal to the both side. The depth, if you have done the suturing up till here, the depth in the incision, and this is the wound, this is the wound. Okay, so in the another side also you are going to place your suture in that only up till there. You're not going to take so much tissue on the other side and a very thin tissue on the other side. No, you're going to place your penetration equally. The depth should be equally free to fix. You are going to start your suturing from the free tissue, that is the tissue which are free, which is not attached to the or it is moving, you can say, to the fixed, the tissue which is fixed, which is not moving. You are going to place your suture from free end to the fixed one, and thinner to thicker. The thinner part will be taken first for penetration and then on the thicker part. The thin part will be taken first, then the thicker part. Deeper to the superficial. From deep layers, you're going to place for deep and then the place where the tissue is very. First, you are going to take the deeper tissue and then to the superficial one. It should not tied tightly. You're not going to tie your suture very tight because this may cause the tearing of your tissue. So you are not going to tie it very tightly. You're not going to place your knot on the wound because it will going to trouble your wound, or it will not going to heal. It will not going to help in healing. So this is the, you are not going to place your knot on the margins. Here 3 to 4 mm apart. The 3 to 4 mm means here the distance will be, your distance of the suture will be 3 to 4 mm apart. The distance will be in both the suture, the distance will be 3 mm or 4 mm. There will be apartness, that means there will be away from the each other, and it depends on the muscular activity closure, that is the area which is more active at that time. It depends upon the activity of the muscular area, how much you are going to take the gap, how much gap you are going to make between your sutures. And in last point here, sometime extra tissue is present. You might feel there is a extra tissue comes between the wound. Okay, between the wound there extra tissue pops out. So that is known as dog ear. The formation, this formation of extra tissue, you are going to cut it with the, you are going to make a 30-degree incision. Extra tissue is cut off. 30-degree incision means if this is the area and there occurs a extra tissue, so you are going to make a 30-degree incision. You have cut it, you have made an incision 30-degree. You are going to remove your extra tissue from here. You are going to remove it and you are going to make a suture on this area. The final wound closure will be done. So it will help you to remove your dog ear, that is extra tissue, from your wound or the place you are where you are going to make your sutures. So hope you have understood this video. So like the video, subscribe and share this video to your friends and your batchmates for easy learning and better understanding. Keep watching Pen Dentistry and follow me on my Instagram account for day-to-day updates. Thank you. Keep watching Pen Dentistry. And yes, The further, as I have told you, the needle part and the types of sutures and what are the materials, the deep knowledge will be seen in the next video. Keep watching Pen Dentistry.